Hello, good evening and welcome to live softball action. It is Thursday night, but it's only because of the rescheduled game, because of the rain that we had. James Harris here, bringing you the action between the Glenelg Rebels and West Torrens Eagles, round 6 of the CMAX Premier League. Joining me is five-time premiership coach Anthony Weatherstone. Good evening, Anthony.
Good evening, James. Good evening, everybody. 31 premierships you won?
We'll bring that up another time, my playing career. Big game, of course, because these two teams have played 5 times already, once against one another. Back in round 2, it was West Torrens 4-1 winners over Glenelg, but it's a new look Glenelg side from that game.
Absolutely, James. I mean, looking at the sides tonight, one's 4-1 and the other one's 1-4, but I've got just a feeling tonight that this could be a very big game because obviously Glenelg have got all of their ins. And apparently there's a big in for West Torrens.
Well, we should have talked about this before the game because I'm going to get Brandon to, if he can, just get a shot of the West Torrens infield who have joined up at second base, and you can see a familiar face playing her first game of the season. It was the best kept secret of the Premier League is that Steph Brzezinski is back for West Torrens tonight.
I said in round 1 when we did that first game, James, and you were Eric was asking me about, predictions, and I said at the end of that first game, I said West Torrens looked great. My only question was their pitching depth, and it took 6 games.
And they're sitting undefeated as
anyway,
well.
Yeah.
Harper Bridley will still pitch Saturdays from what I'm told. There she is, Steph Brzezinski. Alongside her is Kelsey Nucky, will be playing first. So Steph will be playing infield tonight. Lana Kaiser is away. She's a little ill under the weather, so she misses tonight, which gives Steph the opportunity to come straight back in. She flew in Saturday from Japan. She had a job over there teaching English and coaching softball, so I'm sure she's got a couple of tales to tell. But the bad news is for everyone else around the country is that she's in the Stars lineup as well, so she's going to get a couple more games under her belt and hopefully be cherry ripe for January 2nd.
When I heard that she was available for Stars, I mean, that was one of the quickest decisions I think we've ever made at a table. I think that discussion went all of about 2 to 3 seconds. I mean, when you got the likes of her and Georgia Hood coming into the team from last year, working with Jade and Johanna already there, can't wait for the Gilly Shield.
Amazing, amazing. Here we go. We're about to get underway. It is the Rebels versus the Eagles. Leading off for Glenelg is Bree McGee. She will take the first pitch for a called strike. Not a bad start to the season for Bree. She's on base .313, and her batting average with runners on is .333. So, potentially have a look at that batting average and with runners on, and maybe put it down the order, or just trusty lead off. She gets the job done.
Yeah, she does. I mean, Glenelg's Achilles heel at the moment, unfortunately, is their ability to generate runs. So they've only scored 14 for the year in the first 5 games. So, and that's including, the game against Seacombe.
Well, she gets a good piece of the ball here. It goes to deep centre field. Danny Backsky tries to reach out for it. She's taking a catch. What a brilliant catch. I couldn't see it. I was blinded by the field. And she's taking a gem.
She's taking a screamer, and I'm just sitting there thinking, is that just a standard catch for you, is it, James?
Let's have a look at the CMAX
She's
replay.
covered a fair amount of ground.
She breaks hard to the left, and she takes a catch at full stretch, and brilliant from Danny Backsky.
Yeah, well, Marshank could look like she was probably a bit closer. So,
well, she's pulled up a little ginger. You can see on the screen she's grimacing a little, but she's asked for time and just trying to stretch it out a little bit. The trouble for West Torrens is that they've got 10 players tonight, but they've named a DP. So they don't have a bench player.
Yeah, not ideal. I'll tell you what, the person that's gone out to have a look at her, though, a West Torrens legend in Belinda Thomas, could throw in a uniform and still play at this level, I would suggest.
Let's have a look at this a little closely. She takes the catch, she dives.
Yeah, you can see how when she lands, that extension didn't look like it would have felt awesome.
It was a good shot from McGee. She's got Danny to thank for robbing her a hit there.
Do you think Coach Thomas just told her then listen, we don't
can't
have
come
anybody
off.
else on the bench. You've only got to last another 89 minutes. So she seemed to be in positive spirits about it, so that's good.
Yeah, hopefully she can keep some heat into it. It's a little chilly tonight. I've got the big coat on today. Mel McGee, assistant coach at West Torrens, has the beanie on. You know, well, I don't know, what can they do? Can she come over to first maybe? And
Yeah, I mean, she's obviously more than a capable player to be able to play multi-position, so I'm not entirely sure how excited Kelsey would be about heading out to left.
oh, I'm not saying she's replacing Kelsey, just, you know, you got to look after her.
Oh, no, I mean, like Kelsey then having to run around out at left field, she sort of...
Izzy Benedictson, the youngster from West Torrens, getting the start tonight. She's been impressive with the couple of innings that she's thrown so far this season. And this is Caitlin Carroll up to bat. Caitlin Carroll has just been a stalwart for this club since moving over from Port Adelaide, and she's very handy with the stick, hitting over 200 and on base over 300 for the season. That's Caitlin Carroll for her. She's just consistent.
Yeah, and what she's done is she's also shored up their outfield in the sense that because of her speed, she's just got great coverage.
She gets a shot straight up the middle, and Glenelg have a runner aboard.
So her good season continues. And speaking of positive seasons, Courtney Shepherd, the franchise at Glenelg at the moment, currently, she's just playing at an amazing level, batting .385.
Well, you stole my thunder there. She is on fire this season. She's also leading their RBI count as well. So Courtney Shepherd hitting 3 for Glenelg.
Yeah, I mean, the thing, obviously, with Jade coming across from Seacombe last year, there was always going to be that question mark over the fact that it was going to take them some time to gel, and Courtney just improved in that relationship over the course of the season. But then the question mark became what would happen in year 2, how much more improvement was there to come, and you can just see Courtney's all-round game. It's the confidence now that for somebody so young to be playing in such a pivotal spot.
Aggressively gets after this one in the on-deck circle. First of a pair of Americans. Katie Press in at 4. Batting 5 is Carissa McBurney. So excited to see them for the first time this season. Obviously, they've Katie's played 3 games, Carissa just the 1, but not yet on the live stream. So we might even be able to say hello to their family. If you're watching and you want to comment on our live stream, leave us a message so we know where you're watching from. Great pitch from Bennett Dixon. Gets the dangerous Shepherd on an outside edge. Brilliant pitching from the youngster.
Really good, really good. Absolutely.
Well, that's what you want to come back from after a single.
Well, I mean, you know, the opportunity was there. You've got 1 out, but you've got speedy runner at second. At first. I mean, the opportunity to maybe try and push something. The last thing you want to do is just sit there and watch. A bit like the World Series at the moment. The Phillies hit 5 home run yesterday, and then they get shut out today. No hitter.
Is that right?
Mm.
And it'll be playoffs. Is that right?
Yep, 2-2.
I'm looking down at the sheet. 2 extra base hits. Was one of them a home run? We're speaking of home runs just then for the Phillies. I know she started her Premier League season with a bang.
I think it was the Port game where she went 4 for and Katie went 3 for. They both went.
Courtney and Katie.
Yeah, they had 7 between them.
Hits between them. Anyway, Katie Press hitting 500 on the season. She extends a little early on it. We're not going to see another diving attempt there from Danny. She is very ginger.
Yes.
Yeah, she's holding her lower back as well. So, yeah, that's a concern for West Torrens. There's Steph Brzezinski on the screen giving her some advice, no doubt. Keep it away from the hitting zone of this lady, I'm sure was the advice.
Yeah, she looks the part, doesn't she? She saw that pitch nice and early.
Smashes it to short.
Wow.
And Jordan Harris takes a great catch there. There's the reaction she had. It come hard at her. She had to react, and maybe she had half a second longer than she thought she did. Let's have a look at the CMAX replay now. This is in slow motion, and you'll see Lambert read it. Harris read it off the bat.
She smashed
that. She smashed it. It was right off the middle. Harris takes the catch.
Well, you just kicked in her arms.
And that's the third out. So a couple of great catches and an exceptional strikeout to start the inning defensively for West Torrens, and ends the early threat from Glenelg after Caitlin Carroll's single. Well, we can go around the diamond for the Glenelg Rebels. Pitching is Jade Peterson, catching Courtney Shepherd, Gemma Cochran at first, Sophie Kinnear at second, Katie Prest at third, Megan Wheatley at shortstop, and outfield left to right is Bree McGee, Caitlin Carroll, and Tate Nicholson. Carissa McBurney, who will lead off the second inning for Glenelg, is the DP. And also the umpires. Brett Tyler is plate umpire. At first base, Steve Wallace-Yarrow, and at third base is Pete Fairley. And Glenelg have got off to a reasonable start. They've got bat on ball a couple of times. It's taken two really good catches to deny two of their top four hitters. And now they find themselves in defense. So they'll be after a clean start, a clean inning to get things underway here in the first. And they'll want it to start from batter number one as well, because Jordan Harris is having a season. She's played 4 of West Torrens' 5 games. She already got 8 hits as well. Peterson goes change up. First pitch to Jordan Harris. Now these two teams played in round 2. West Torrens defeated Glenelg 4-1. The game on the other diamond tonight, brought to you by the Red Stars Cafe. Foul off from Harris.
That's a lovely plug, I appreciate that.
That's okay. Sturt plays Walkerville over on the other diamond tonight, and after 2 innings it was Sturt leading 1-0. In round 2, Sturt defeated Walkerville 5-3. So should be a couple of close games tonight, you'd think. We'll bring you some more updates as the game goes on.
Well, the winner
change up for Peterson.
Winner of that game goes clear second.
Yeah, Walkerville sitting second at the moment on 5 points. Sturt on 4. Sturt have only played 3 games. One right at the bottom of the zone.
So do you think there's a little bit of intel that's been bit of chart work there? When was the last time Geordie saw 2 change-ups in the first 4 pitches?
First 3 pitches. That was the 4th pitch. It's a 2-2 count now. Another change up, just missing. We'll go to a full count. Harris has had 2 walks on the season so far.
Well, she's set the tone in every game that she's led off for West Torrens.
Quick pitch, but Harris is right onto it. She rips it to deep left field. One bouncing into the fence, which means extra bases. She turns hard at 2, dives in head first for a triple. And West Torrens have their leader in scoring position.
That's unbelievable. That's awesome discipline batting. That's just, yeah. And not only that, matched by just base running. Like, as she turned and she was rounding second, the ball was still in possession there, but you just see her accelerate at this last little bit. There was no chance they were going to get her.
Well, I think she was happy with the stand-up double and then got waved around, and she just turned the accelerator on. That's a student of the Kathy Lambert School right there of sprinting. Alicia Marching, the hitter, up to bat now.
So Glenelg's pivots here, and the first and third pivots are on the line, but 1 and 3, both still very deep. Not protecting the squeeze at all here.
Marching, big cut at the ball, just off the end of the barrel, fouls it off. Goes behind 0-2, but she's looked pretty good up there so far.
The other thing that highlights that shot by Geordie is the fact that they've obviously thrown a plan to it, and she's still come up and done that. Just amazing hitting.
Yeah, change-ups to throw out your timing, and there's another change-up from Peterson. So we haven't seen it very often from Peterson because her spinners are generally good enough, aren't they? Like the outside curves and the rise balls. And then she can kill you, cut you in half with an inside drop.
Yeah, no doubt.
She's got all the tricks. Hit ground ball to the right side. Well, is generally good enough, but Harris couldn't go there because it found the fielder, Gemma Cochran, and she defends well for the first out. Here's the CMAX replay.
Yeah, the important thing for Gemma there was she could have just waited, but by coming down to the ball and then moving to the player, Geordie's had to stay where she was at third. So that was smart fielding by Gemma Cochran.
Amber Hood. By her standards, a pretty good year, you would say. 500 to start the season with a 667 on base average. She's hitting in the 3 spot in her second season at West Torrens. Yeah,
different role for her this year, but as with everything, she's just taken those challenges and just keeps on rising. I mean, the MO on Jade has always been you need to attack her early in the count. The longer the count goes against somebody of her experience and quality, that's when she'll carve you up. But she's not giving them too much to work with early, so West Torrens happen to be fairly selective here. There was
one of 4 batters in the West Torrens lineup hitting it over 500.
Yeah, they've had some big wins. I mean, leading the league in, second to Walkerville, 31 runs, and defensively only giving up 13 for the season. So that means they're scoring 6. Scoring 6 every time they play. That's, your battery likes hearing that they've got a 6-run gap to play with. So, which is why their pitchers, Harper, Izzy here, and Ryder, have had that opportunity, and Amber Hood picks another walk.
Well, that is walk number 7 on the season. And she just makes it look so easy, doesn't she, when she's in the box? Nice and relaxed, and here she is aboard. 1-3 split, so both teams will have a chat about this. And Amber Hood led West Torrens stolen bases last year, but just the one so far this year.
It'll be really interesting to see what happens here. 2 reasons. In game 1 against Port Adelaide, 2 of the 5 runs that West Torrens scored were in 1-3 splits where they played delays. The second thing that's going to be different here, of course, is the new field. Cochran's on the other side of the diamond. She's at first, and they've got a new third baseman. So it'll be interesting to see how Glenelg plays the situation and if West Torrens tries to exploit it.
First pitch there for a called strike. Sophie Hoyle, 429 on the season, leads the team in RBIs with 5. The person you want up to bat with runners in scoring position. Well, 2 pitches, 2 strikes. So Glenelg's tactic on the 1-3 split was to attack.
To attack the batter.
Attack the batter, yeah, that's what I mean.
They just
because they let. Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't think they were going to do that. So the sack here.
Well, they let Hood just go straight through with the stolen base. 2 runners in scoring position, and what's Amber do? Oh, 2 out, catch a speed up. Okay. I thought she. Yeah, that's okay. I've got to just gather myself here for a second here. Let's
another red frog.
Let's have a look at the CMAX replay. It was Sophie Kinnear who took a good catch, running back with the flight. Catch a speed up. The courtesy runner will be Alicia Marchenk. There's Sophie Hoyle just skying out.
So the interesting thing there is that Geordie wasn't tagged up. She was actually playing down the line in case that ball spilled. So she had to go back once the catch was taken, where...
Do you think she would have scored on a fly ball? No chance, not from the dirt.
No, but I think the thought of her being there ready to go, more to put some pressure. Handy 5-hitter.
Here is the 5-hitter for West Torrens. Number 17, the reigning, the current, the back-to-back Kath Coral medalist.
But yeah, what was interesting was that, like, West Torrens have shown that they're prepared to burn a runner to score a run, but it wasn't a delay. It was a full go steal.
The cut from Brzezinski, just a little off that one. She goes behind the count. So I don't know how much she got to play while she's in Japan. So we'll give her a break for the first game back.
Yeah. I mean, obviously she had some time over at Canada Cup and the World, so.
And Peterson manages to negate the threat from the lead-off triple from Harris to end that inning with a strikeout. Great pitching and excellent defense from the Glenelg Rebels.
And that's the key. Glenelg, I mean, the question mark that's always hung over their defense has been the fact that Peterson and Shepherd have been so good in the middle that when the ball's hit, there's obviously been a chance. I mean, I think they committed 6 errors in their first game when they got blown out by Sturt. But you can obviously see in the weeks of improvement, Coach Brinkworth has definitely drilled that out of them. And now she's got probably her full lineup at her disposal. They just look a much more robust team in that regard. So, as I said, I think tonight's got every chance of being a lot closer than what maybe the ladder suggests that it would be.
We didn't get to go through the West Torrens defence earlier. Izzy Benedictson pitching to Amber Hood, Kelsey Nucky at first, Steph Brzezinski at second, Sophie Hoyle at third, Jordan Harris at short, and outfield left to right is Danny Backsky, Alicia Marchink and Jackie Beale. Carly Allen is the DP, and I can tell you, thanks to the Red Stars Cafe, we'll go around the grounds.
Bar 66.
Sarah and Bar 66, Sarah Tonkin led off the bottom of the first inning with an in-the-park home run. That's how Sturt took the 1-0 lead. And then it was... I can't find it. Who scored? Alicia Peters was intentionally walked. Robinson was advanced to second. Well, Walkerville tied the game. Back in the third inning, Erin Reid led off with a single. And I can't find the RBI, but that is okay. It is 1-1, Walkerville versus Sturt. Over on the backfield, thanks to Red Stars Cafe and Bar 66.
And West Torrens have made a late change. Danny Backside hasn't been able to continue and has come off. And she's been replaced by, that's Marnie Nichols. Marnie Nichols is playing A grade. Wow. Wow.
Have a look at the face there of Mel McGee. That tells it all. Marnie Nichols is a C grade player for
she's
the
running around.
West Torrens Soccer
She's
Club.
running around in the C grade, but she's would be at least a 7 or 8 time A grade premiership player.
And there's Danny Backsky.
Yeah. The magic spray doesn't appear to have worked.
Well, plenty going on here. I'm trying to do the score from one diamond. I can't find the RBI. We've got an injured player coming out and a returning A-grade player. She probably wouldn't have played an A-grade game in a decade or more.
But I can assure you, and we say it probably more than we should, but Marnie Nichols is an athlete, an absolute superstar. So she will fit right back in like nothing's different. And Marnie's always had a positive attitude. She's always just take things as they come, so she won't be phased one bit.
Well, speaking of plenty happening, first look at American Carissa McBurney. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm sure I'll get told if I'm not. And she played some serious college ball.
Yeah, absolutely. Had some experience in Poland with the Wrocław Panthers.
So played in Europe.
Yeah.
It's a tough league over there.
So bats right, throws right, plays a bunch of different positions.
Pitching is one of her positions, I hear. So handy backup for Peterson. She rips this one right up the middle. So that is her second hit of the season. Her first plate appearance last week was a hit as well.
Yeah. Part of the coaching staff of the Polish national team in the 2021 European Championships. Served as player and coach. So, yeah, absolutely. Back in Ohio, she was a trainer of collegiate athletes. So, obviously, a fairly extensive resume.
Sophie Kinnear's the hitter, batting 6 for Glenelg. She attempts a bunt, first pitch.
Yep. Another welcome addition back to the Rebels this season. Player with really great experience, great pedigree. So, and as the season goes on, she will get better. But has done some really good things so far this season. And shores up that second base spot. She's batting clean up a couple of games ago, so pretty handy having her coming in at 6.
High from Benedictson, perhaps a rise ball that Kinnear's good enough to get the hands to the ball. Fouls it off to stay alive.
And the young thing about Izzy here too is she's a young pitcher, and you can tell obviously she's very much at the start of her pitching journey. So
good back up pick from Nucky. Plays Harris at shortstop for the lead runner. What a great pick up from the first base player.
That's a great backhand by Kelsey, and just instinctively, like she was actually leaning back towards the base, held her ground, comes up with a throw. Jordan makes a great take, and McBurney does a good enough job of blocking the way so that Jordan really can't execute the double. So Megan Wheatley, who was also a clean-up hitter most of last season, batting in their 4 slot at shortstop, finds herself down in 7. So Glenelg team starting to show some depth, which is super impressive.
Kinnear showing a little bit of speed as well, because Nucky picked that up. It was a rifle shot, got the throw off pretty quickly, and then Harris transitioned well. And so she beat it out. So that's 3 really good hits or pieces of the ball from Glenelg that have been denied by the West Torrens defences. This one is popped up into foul territory, and Brzezinski goes diving into the soft dirt and foul territory for the second out. How's this defense on show tonight from West Torrens?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've always talked about, or we go on about it every week, about West Torrens' defense is one of the reasons they are where they are, but even for Steph to be away from the team so long, Kelsey knowing that Steph's got the right call over the back of that, and to actually instinctively do the right thing there, that's a great catch by Steph.
Unreal.
And Glenelg's initiative from a none-out runner at first now becomes a 2-out situation with a runner at first, and now happy to rally with Cochran at the plate.
Ball, just beaten from the bounce in that soft dirt. It might look good out there tonight, but I'm telling you right now, with the amount of rain, I think we got 30 mil of rain in the 24 hours leading up to last night's scheduled starting time, and the reason why we're playing tonight, it is very, very wet and soft out there underfoot.
Yes, that's not an easy play to be able to actually field there. So I think the other thing that needs to be recognised, James, is the work that you and Ben Lucas have done on this field to bring it up to scratch over the last 2 days. Coming in on your day off today, impressive. And I hope everybody at home watching, as well as the players, appreciate the amount of hours that you guys actually put into it, considering it's not your job to do. So
love of the game, right?
Love the game. But we were always on the lookout for volunteers, so
yeah, come on down, help out. Jade Peterson's the hitter in the box, batting 9 for Glenelg. How's their first time through the lineup? A deep fly ball for the leadoff, a single, line drive from Katie Priest, a single from McBurney. Sophie Kinnear's been ripped off a hit by Kelsey Nucky's backhand. Megan Wheatley was denied a chance, a foul fly ball from Brzezinski. Cochran with a single up the middle, and now Jade Peterson a walk. They've had contributors 1 through 9 in the first 9 batters.
And they're now...
Can't ask for more.
We were just talking before about the fact that they lost the initiative at 2 out with 2 out with only a runner at first, and 2 batters later. Now their bases are loaded, 2 out, but they've come back to the top of the lineup with McGee.
Courtesy runner for Glenelg. I wrote it down.
Nicholson.
I think that might be our new friend Brooke Derusant.
And what can you
Brooke Derusant.
What can you tell us about her?
Brooke Derusant is a player for the Glenelg Rebels, and she's currently running for the pitcher in the 2-out speed-up rule. Loaded bases for Glenelg. Here is their big opportunity. A run here, and they'll take the lead early in the game, and they've got their leadoff hitter up to bat.
Just see, this is a a tough deal for any pitcher, but for a young pitcher, she's just got to stay focused on listening to what Amber's saying and just hit that glove. Trust that her field's going to do the right thing by her.
McGee just shaking her hands after that foul ball. I'm not sure if it's cold or if she just got it off the wrong part of the bat. You can see her there just shaking the fingers. Get some warmth into those hands. It's fairly cold. We don't have the weatherman here today, but
no, the grounds look excellent. We've done an amazing job, but it is freezing down here at the moment.
He fouls another off.
So that's what Izzy wanted. She's now got the count back to her favour, 2-all. So she's got a ball to play with.
There's no way it's 14 degrees. The weather says it's 14 degrees. Feels like -7.
That's from somebody in an office somewhere nowhere near here.
Smashed it to left field. Here's Marnie Nichols with no warm-up. Fires it in on the spot. And Glenelg have got the lead. It is 1-0. Sophie Kinnear scores the run. Bree McGee with the RBI. So her batting average with runners in scoring position continues to go up. Bree McGee, here's a look at the CMAX replay.
Yeah, turned on the ball really well, but as you can see, Marnie had already read it. She was already in there. Marnie traditionally, in my era, was a centre fielder and just had amazing coverage of the field. I haven't seen a player go back to the fence be able to catch fly balls as good as Marnie. She was, she read the ball beautifully, and that was instinctive there. Probably hasn't had the greatest of warm-ups on the arm, so luckily hit a cut. Geordie did the right thing and went out to her. So
Caitlin Carroll's up to bat now. She already has a single in this game. And if you blink and you give this Glenelg lineup a chance, they're going to take it with two hands, because if they get on a roll, they've got Carroll, Shepherd, Preston, McBurney all to come. If they have a two-out run.
We haven't said that too many times about the Rebels in the past, so it's an amazing job that Coach Brinkworth has done in assembling the group that she's now got. And but the important thing for the team is that on the back of the quality of Jade Peterson in the circle, they've now got to make sure that they capitalise on it.
Hits up the middle. Steph Brzezinski dives and she reaches out for the base for the out. Fantastic diving play, and the West Torrens defence is on show again.
Well, she had a ball just go through her before because of, you know, obviously just adjusting to the conditions. It's a bit hard out there, but the impressive thing was that she made it back up with a great play. Saved a run there, easy, as the ball goes up the middle, full stretch.
Unbelievable backhand diving play on the CMAX replay. She went with the glove first, but realised she didn't have a ball in it. So, and there's Bree McGee sliding in just a little too late. What a great shot from Carroll, but equally impressive was the backhand play from Steph Brzezinski.
Well, the good thing there was, you know, that was all done on 2 out. You know, so they had their they had some opportunities early in that innings, and they didn't capitalise, but they stuck to it. So
3 hits and a walk in that inning.
Love, but I mean, obviously putting this in perspective, this is, you know, we're not facing Steph Brzezinski here. I mean, it's a young pitcher that's learning her craft, and so, you know, the Eagles, Coach Lamery and their staff would know very much that they weren't coming down here expecting to just blow Glenelg away with a young, you know, junior pitcher.
Well, that's only her first run against for the season, Izzy Benedictson. So not too bad from the young state representative. We are in the bottom of the first innings. The leader for West Torrens in this inning is Kelsey Nucky.
Well, the other thing too is that the Eagles, and a couple of their games, have had pressure, but the last time that we saw them play against Sturt, they just took Sturt, you know, 12 hits, 9 runs, and that was with Ladner, the fly-in. So
Aussie Spirit pitcher Chantel Ladner. Well, I can tell you, without Chantel Ladner, Walkerville on Diamond 2 lead the game. Walkerville versus Sturt 2-1, top of the 5th. Make that 4-1. They've put us 3 spot up in the 5th inning.
Who's pitching for Sturt at the moment?
Sturt's pitcher is Ruby Fidge.
Yeah, right. Well, Walkerville, I mean, are leading the league in runs scored. I mean, they've scored 32. The only thing against them at the moment is the fact that they've given up 21. So defensively, next to Glenelg and Seacombe, they're the worst of the top 5. So It's a dangerous way to play softball when you're playing shootout softball every time you're out there. Yeah. But
well, Peters and Roberts with RBIs in this inning for Walkerville. Back to the action here, and Peterson's up on the count on Nucky. She has to reach for this one, and an ugly bounce for Megan Wheatley at shortstop. Well, it was West Torrens' defence that kept them in the game last inning, and unfortunately for Wheatley, she gets a bad bounce here. Let's have a look at the replay.
Well, that's exactly what happened to Steph, except the ball went the other way. So Megan just showing there how difficult it is to field in a straight line out there.
Do you punish the fielder for a bad bounce? I don't know if you can. So a single to Kelsey Nucky. As the designated player, Carly Allen, comes to the plate. She's got 5 hits for the season so far, hitting .500.
Yeah. So last season, a 300+ hitter without runners on, 400+ when runners were on. So,
well, this is uncharacteristic for Carly Allen, swinging at the first 2 pitches, fouling them both off.
As I said, I wonder if there's a little bit of a change in mindset there with the Eagles about maybe just trying to be a little bit more aggressive, because they were watching a little bit early. But that being said, Jade was also throwing a lot of off speed, as she just did then again.
Back to Wheatley, she stays down, makes the right play, so not put off from the bad bounce from the batter before. She stays low to the ground. That's the key at shortstop. Fires it across to Kinnear for the lead runner and the first out.
Yeah. So Marnie Nichols, I was fortunate enough and honoured enough to be able to coach her for 5 seasons, and she is sensational. She became our leadoff hitter back in the day, and yeah, just sees everything on face value, just sees it as it is, and just adjusts accordingly. So can pull the ball really well, but also has a great inside-out shot.
First A-grade game in a decade, and you've got to face the K2 queen, Jade Peterson.
Yeah. So
Jade Peterson, just for those watching at home, has thrown. Nichols fouls that one off. 22 innings and has 28 strikeouts on the season. Leads all comers in the competition with strikeouts.
Yeah. That relationship of her and Shepherd, that battery they have formed, has become a formidable weapon for Glenelg. And I think now when you start to see the rest of the team that Coach Brinkworth has assembled, there's some genuine heat on the floor here in the future, if they can keep it together and build on it.
Nichols just jammed a little. Peterson might go the lead runner. Great pickup from Wheatley, the shortstop for the lead runner. That's 2 out.
Yeah, just got jammed up on the handle there, but you saw the cut before. Wasn't phased by the speed or anything like that. She was back when the Torrens Valley Red Sox had the Americans here and they were throwing rockets at us. So
Jackie Bill bats 9 for the Eagles, and we just saw on the CMAX replay that Jade Peterson's gone for the Scott Radigan throw, the bounce throw over to the base.
Jackie Bill having a very good season with the bat as well, especially just hitting the ball in that 6-5 hole. Just she can do the running slap or the running bounce or all those things. So done a really good job of just holding her shoulder in a little bit longer. That one there just got beaten for pace.
Strikeout swinging for Beal, and Peterson's done it again. Given up a leadoff hit, only to throw the 3rd out for the strikeout with some pretty good defense backing her to deny West Torrens. Here's a look at the rise ball and a great take from Shepherd.
Yeah, she didn't look at all comfortable in that at bat there at all. Wasn't sure sort of what to do as far as what her approach was at that particular point. So obviously 2-out situation like that, maybe sending Marnie and putting a bit of pressure on the defense to come up with another play might have been a way to do it and bring Jackie back. But I think you'll find a more aggressive approach from Torrens next innings now that they've all been through the lineup once. I think you'll find they'll be attacking the count a lot earlier.
Well, Glenelg Rebels have the lead. It's 1-0 here after 2 innings, and they have put enough offensive pressure on to force a change. It's the recently arrived Steph Brzezinski back to the mound. She wouldn't have too many innings under the belt, you wouldn't think. So if you're going to face Brzezinski, this is probably when you want to face her.
Well, you've already got a run in the bank, and the Eagles haven't, they've only batted through their lineup once. They haven't got on the board yet. So, you know, Coach Lamery, Coach McGee, Coach Thomas, they'd all be okay with this at the moment right now, because driving down to the ballpark tonight, first place 6th, you'd expect that you're probably going to win, but Glenelg have assembled a team that's going to put anybody under great pressure tonight, and this is great insight for the Eagles in round 6.
There's a look at the reigning back-to-back Kath Coral medalist, Steph Brzezinski. She's a bit dirty up the front there. She's made a diving catch in the foul territory along the first base side. She's made a diving backhand play.
And Courtney Shepherd's going to be the first Glenelg's best hitter. Is going to get first look at the 2022-23 version of Steph Brzezinski. So, as you said, shouldn't be expecting too much, considering we don't know what her workload's been over the last 6 months. But Steph, being the competitor she is.
Well, for those that don't know, Japan just happened to be the best in the world at softball, and so it probably wouldn't have been a bad culture to be around.
Yeah, I would have imagined she might have rolled her arm over once or twice, but we shall see. How good is it to find out tonight?
She changed gloves as well to pitch in, so she's it looked like a red palm on the fielding glove that she had at second, and that one is the Rawlings gold glove. I know how much that glove costs as well, so it might be a little. As Shepard gets a good piece of it, but over she goes like a shark at third base. It's Sophie Hoyle picks it up, one bounce, fires it across to Nucky for the first out.
And the impressive thing there for Glenelg so far is that Shepard is none for 2 with a standing strikeout and a ground out to third, and they're 1-0 up. Traditionally, she's been the run machine that's created the offense for them. So,
and that's why she hits 3. Here's Press. So she had a shot that come off like a lightning bolt, only to be denied by shortstop Harris.
And a deep foul ball too on the left side. So she looks the part. So let's see what happens when we crank 20 up on the speed dial.
And the revolutions as well.
Yeah.
What happened then?
I don't know.
I took mine off the plate.
I just thought it was going to be one of those. And
okay.
It wasn't.
All right. It's a 2-0 count in favour of Katie Press, American. Or is she Australian now? She lives in Australia, so in Adelaide. Handy pickup for Glenelg to have an American come knocking on your door. I've just moved to Adelaide.
Yeah, absolutely.
We say hi to her family watching back at home. She's up for the challenge as she fouls Brzezinski off. Well, stays alive in the count.
I tell you, if Steph hasn't done any work in 6 months, and this is what she's doing early on, she looks $1 million out there right now. He's seeing a break on the ball on the inside. So, game on here from the Eagles. So,
high for a ball, and Press doesn't want anything to do with that rise ball. Brzezinski, she looks like she's up for a challenge as well here. So this battle, something to look out for the rest of the year. Press versus Brzezinski. She fouls off another. We're not done yet.
As impressive as pitch that was, for Press to be able to get her hands to it and actually make something of it, that was equally impressive. That was a great pitch. So the one thing I'm noticing about Steph right here now is she's quick pitching. So traditionally she's casually off the back of the plate, taking her time. But she's actually in throwing the pitch, and she's ready to throw the next one pretty quickly. So
base on balls, runner aboard for Glenelg. They've had runners on each of the 3 innings. They've had hits, 4 hits in the game. We're already into the 3rd inning, and here is one of the batters with a hit, Carissa McBurney.
Well, I think one of the things that came out of the Seacombe Glenelg game from last Wednesday was Seacombe held Glenelg for a long time, and it was 2-1 late in the game. But I think Glenelg had had up to 8 base runners left on up to that point. So they've got the first part of that offense right, as in getting people to base. Now it's just a matter of being able to cash them in, and that's can be harder than it sounds.
Well, they've had 7 on tonight for just the 1 run so far. As McBurney not wanting anything to do with anything on the inside edge, she goes to a 3-0 count quickly. So battery here, Brzezinski and Hood are going to have to change things up a little.
Doesn't look like she's those other pitches. I mean, a couple of times, as I said, I put my hand up thinking that that's a pitch through. So she must be right on the edge.
Plenty of smiles coming from that Glenelg Rebels dugout. A bit of noise as well. 3-1. Big swing from McBurney to go 3-2. And the payoff pitch with press on first. She hasn't really got a lead off yet. So we might see her move here a little. Eagerly waiting for this pitch. Fouls it off.
Yeah, I think that's probably got to be the goal here from Amber, is to just to look. You know, it's your first game back, Steph. Expectations can't be, you know, massive. So let's just attack the batters and just, you know, trust your spin and trust your speed, and let's just put the pressure back on them. Let's not get too caught up in trying to throw a masterpiece on the edges.
Great battle, and there's the champ that we know, Steph Brzezinski, with her first strikeout for the 22-23 season.
And a big one too. That's. But this is the thing. This is where Glenelg has been lacking to before. Now it's the constant pressure through the lineup. You mentioned before, James, just last innings, who they had coming up. We've got Wheatley to come behind Kinnear. And then you got Cochran. So, I mean, like, you know, these are players that have been playing in key spots, now batting down the lineup. So Glenelg have got some genuine depth.
Called strike. Yeah, Glenelg's depth. You mentioned before they're 1 and 4, but they're not too far away from the teams above them. They had a 4-1 hit out against West Torrens earlier on in the season. Yeah. And, you know, they're getting the runners on base. They're only 2 points away from third spot.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you know, the 11-zip loss to Sturt in the first round when Ladner arrived as a bit of a surprise, I suppose. I think the thing that came out of that there is that lineup looks nothing like the one that they've put on the park tonight.
And Brzezinski
starting to warm to her task there.
Yeah, back-to-back strikeouts to end the third inning for Glenelg. They still lead, though. It's 1-0.
Yeah, and I think I'm looking forward to seeing what the next step here is with the Eagle offense. Obviously, you know, it's not a matter of getting Jade tired, because they've obviously got relief now for the first time, you know, genuinely behind her. So, you know, Jade can throw and go for it basically and not leave anything out there, knowing that she's got to go the distance traditionally. But I think you'll find a change in mindset here. I think Torrens will look into the account and they'll just attack. Whereas, you know, the amount of off-pace pitching that Jade's thrown early here has maybe been the thing that's unsettled that. But there's plenty of experience on that lineup. Jordan Harris gets to have a second look, so we'll get a bit of a feel for how this is going to play out.
Thanks to Bar 66 and Red Star Cafe, we go around the grounds. Walkerville Cats did put a 4-spot up in the 5th inning, but Sturt Falcons has fired straight back in the bottom of the 5th with RBI hits to White and Cameron, the usual suspects.
Yep.
And they have scored 2 to get back 5-3. And that was the scoreline the first time those two teams met in round 2, but it was the opposite way around in Sturt's favour. We will keep you up to date on that game, which has only got 15 minutes left to play. So an upset in the making over in Diamond 2 tonight.
Yeah, it could be an upset here. So Jordan Harris has taken a pitch wide off the plate and a change up. She's taken another pitch, another curve on the outside. So Glenelg, the impressive thing here is they've done some homework. They've given Jordan nothing inside, nothing she can turn on. They're going to have to make her reach, but
that was way out of the zone, and you don't often see pitches like that from Jade Peterson. So a 4-ball walk, very similar to teams' tactics against, say, Georgia Hood, who can just come up and just go, you know, bang, bang, multiple hits in a game. They just stopped throwing to her. And so she led the league in the last couple of seasons. She played in walks and hits.
Yeah, so Cochrane is playing much shallower this time, and you can see Coach Lamery busy on the signal pattern over there at the moment, because all of a sudden Harris, in a none-out situation becomes super important to try and tie this game up. She's gone.
Well, I was going to tell her to go back as Harris slides in with a stolen base, her third for the season. I was just going to send Cochrane back because West Torrens have only put 2 bunts on, or had 2 successful bunts for the year. But I changed my mind because Marchenk's one of those.
Yeah.
So successfully put down a sacrifice bunt. Already in this season. She smashes this deep centre field. It's going out to the signages. It's cut off by Carroll, but it's not going to be enough to stop Harris from scoring. Cruise control crossing the plate as Alicia Marchenk stands up at 2 with an RBI double.
Yeah, that's great batting. So that's how you want your offense to run. Steal, put pressure on. Marchenk just gets a good pitch on the inside, turns on it, puts it out deep. Carroll's got great speed, and she cuts that ball down before it gets past her. Still a RBI double though, ties it up 1-1.
Well, she smashed that one, Alicia Marching. That was her first RBI of the season. And not a bad batter to have at number 2. Got a bit of speed, she can lay down a bunt, and then she just rip off a stand-up double.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's great depth in your lineup. So, and the Eagles here, now they've got the perfect opportunity with the runner at 2, none out, Hood, Hoyle, Nucky to come.
Amber Hood with a runner in scoring position. Hitting 500 for the season. 500 with runners in scoring position. Has 4 RBIs. 7 walks. She's on base about 700 at the moment. She's just had an unbelievable season. Peterson just dialed it up a notch there to the inside edge.
Dangerous here. Got to come back and throw something to challenge Amber, because she's right in the line again.
Fouls it off. They've scored 31 runs so far in the season, and this is one of the players who is a part of it, in the thick of it, in every single game so far. Goes opposite field.
Well, it's no secret that when Amber and Georgia both left the Hills, obviously Amber coming to West Torrens and Georgia going to Pensacola, you know, the Hills offensively, you look at their numbers and they just fell off a cliff from a team that was knocking on the door every time they played. So the importance of Amber to the Eagles lineup is huge.
Ground ball to the shortstop. Wheatley's been in the action. She makes a great play. Double play attempt.
Wow.
Glenelg Rebels right in the game here tonight. It's 1-1, and they've just pulled off a magnificent double play. CMAX replay will tell the story. It is a 6-3-5 double. Wheatley stays low again. Makes the great throw. Marchink took off. That was bang, bang play. Let's have a look at the throw from Cochrane. And the tag made, good play from Prest. And the punch out from Pete Fairley. CMAX, if you want to help advance tomorrow's healthcare and get paid for your time, log on to cmax.com.au. What a great play.
It's an amazing play. I don't know how many. I want to see this play here at first.
Let's have a look at the reverse angle. Great call there from Wallace Yarrow. And a great angle to see all the action. Unbelievable. That could be a contender, Anthony, for the CMAX maximum effort player of the game.
I think so. Like, again, you know, as I said, the question mark has been...
Hoyle gets under this one. It's high. Cochrane calls out the pitcher Peterson and takes a good catch. It's been a terrific team performance from Glenelg. They're contributing all the way through their order as we have a look at the CMAX replay of this one. And now in defence, they are really stepping it up.
As I was just about to say before, the question mark that's always been in Glenelg's defence was that you knew that Peterson was going to challenge the hitters. Shepherd was going to call a smart game, so you were, half of your defensive battle was already done. But defensively behind that in the field, they were unfortunately, you just couldn't, I suppose, trust them over the journey. And they had a mixture of players. They had some young players coming up, so you put some of that into context. But what's super impressive is with the way that the team's now been assembled and the work that obviously Coach Brinkworth and his staff have done, is you can just start to see what we saw from round one, let alone last year. I mean, round one, they gave up 6 errors in a game where it's over in 57 minutes or something. And now here they are playing the ladder leaguers in Torrens, and, they're making double plays.
Yep. Well, they took it to West Torrens the first time they played in round 2, 4-1. Then the very next game against defending champions Port Adelaide, they went down in a high-scoring game, 10-6. Defeated Seacombe 6-1, and then they left too many runners on to go down 7-1 against the Hills with Grace Rickson pitching. So they've put on some pretty good performances. Megan Wheatley's to the plate. She'll lead off the 4th inning. It's a different story, though, now for Glenelg with Steph Brzezinski on the plate.
Yeah, runs are going to be a lot harder to come by now. But I suppose therein lies the challenge. And as I said, the flip side of this is what's great for Coach Lamry and the Eagles, is that they're now starting to, they probably haven't had the pressure that they've wanted to actually find out, who's doing the right things and how far away the game plan. Sorry, I talked over there. It's a slap on the wrist.
It's okay, off the end of the bat into foul territory. Just your first warning, though, Anthony, as you were saying.
So they're developing great intel here, because this is what you want to find out when the game's hard and when you're under pressure. That's where your great players come through, and that's when you can find out who you're going to be able to trust when the game matters at the most. And look, that's going to be a journey for the West Torrens Eagles this year, because they've been around the mark for 5 years in a row, and they just haven't been able to close it out. And now we've got 3 club icons in there leading the charge, and a great team. You bring back.
Great pitching from Brzezinski, leads off the 4th inning with a strikeout.
We've talked about Ladner, we've talked about Rickson coming in from New South. We've talked about the pickups, the Americans.
6 Americans in the comp.
And yet, to this day, I still maintain that the best recruit of the season so far is at shortstop for West Torrens, and Jordan Harris. So, I mean,
Gemma Cochran back to the plate. She had a single. That was the tricky one for Brzezinski, the bad bounce that she had. Handy pickup for West Torrens.
Yeah, I mean, to come into a lineup and take Amber Hood, who was arguably probably the best leadoff in the league last year, and change her hitting role, shows how good a step up in offense that was.
Good spot from Brzezinski. Yeah, I don't think we talk enough about West Torrens' order, their 7, 8, 9, because sometimes you're only as good as your weakest player, and there's not a hole in this West Torrens lineup as Brzezinski throws 4 consecutive strikeouts.
Yeah.
And 2 quick outs here in the top of the 4th.
The great Mark Cramp would tell you that 7, 8, 9 are going to win you more games than they're going to lose. So, but we're seeing some evidence here, and this is probably the hypercritical only concern, is that the Rebels, they don't want to become passive now just because Brzezinski's gone into the middle and has started throwing missiles, that all of a sudden that their mindset changes to what they're doing, because they were very positive early before.
You're saying that there might be a different energy amongst the West Torrens team?
Well, defensively, as you see Glenelg come off, they're up and about, and there's lots of positivity there because their defence has just pulled off a double play against the Eagles, and things are going great. Because that was
Well, we've seen that from the West Torrens defence, haven't we, all season?
How many times have we seen it? But the important thing about that was a none-out situation with a runner at 2 for the Eagles, and by making that double play in the heart of their lineup, they took it to 2 out and made Hoyle isolated at the plate with nobody on. So that was a massive play in the field, and so they should be feeling great about themselves. But to offensively let Brzezinski come out and just blow you away and throw 3 strikeouts to 7, 8, 9, that can change the energy, as you see Glenelg now coming out. So West Torrens to here taking the time, and I think this is a great time out by Coach Lamry now, talking about the fact, hey, listen, Glenelg are playing amazing softball at the moment, and you know what?
Credit where it's due.
Yep, you got to tip your hat to that. But guess what? It's 1-1 and it's halfway.
Well, while both teams have, one team has a warm-up and one team has a quick chat, I can take you around the grounds. We've just started the last inning over on Diamond 2, thanks to Red Stars Cafe and Bar 66. Walkerville are leading 5-4. They are the top half of the inning, Walkerville. Sturt have made 4 errors on the night. RBI hits to Belinda White, Maddie Cameron and Tash Straps in that 5th inning to put 3 on, to bring it back to 1. There's 2 quick outs, but there's 2 runners aboard for Walkerville. So stay tuned, because that looks like it's a beauty at the moment over in Diamond 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach Stansfield's definitely, like Coach Brinkworth here, has assembled a Walkerville Cats list that's different. But it's great offense. I mean, you know, as I said, 32 runs, leading the league in scoring. It's only defensively in the middle where they're being held back. So she's done a great job as a first year as a coach there. And so it was funny talking about the season at the start of the year. We said it was a top 3, and you know, the rest of it was just going to be making up the numbers. Walkerville currently 2nd. Glenelg now looking a completely different lineup.
You may have said that it was only going to be between 3 teams.
Well, I was asked at the time, so thanks, Eric. So,
well, 2 offensive weapons joining this Glenelg team this season has just really put them in the mix, hasn't it? With the leadership of Peterson, the emergence of Shepherd over the last couple of seasons, and then the solid players that they've got throughout the rest of their lineup, the Wheatleys, the Carrolls, the McGees.
Oh, that's amazing.
And then you add Sophie Kinnear to that lineup as well. You know, they're just a solid outfit now.
If, as I said, not the same team that played week 1, I can assure you of that.
Brzezinski.
I mean, Kinnear was a big enough in as it was right at the time to just, you know, solidify some experience and some quality into the infield. But now you add the Americans in as well. There's a lot to like.
Brzezinski seen it, a couple of pitches fouled, a couple off. She fouls this one off. It just goes foul down the 3rd baseline, and she'll have another swing. Has had an amazing return, not just pitching 5 strikeouts in a row for 2 innings of work, but defensively she's made some very sharp plays, and this will be one part of the game that she will want to have a result in as well with the bat.
She's a quality hitter, but she's an aggressive hitter. And the thing with being an aggressive hitter, unfortunately, is sometimes it's hard to turn the dial down a little bit and get some control. And you can see here, she has shortened up her swing now, but some of those other cuts that she was taking were huge.
So she's got one of my favourite quotes. As she goes down swinging, she says, "I swing hard in case I hit it."
And she does hit it more often than not, and she does hit it far. So,
Kelsey Nucky up to bat as Brzezinski goes back to the dugout with a bit of a taste of her own medicine, with striking the lead-off batter, Jade Peterson. Kelsey Nucky now to the plate. So just to let you know, in the first 3 innings, West Torrens lead-off has got a board each time, 2 hits and a walk. So good signs here for Peterson and the Rebels here in the 4th, as Nucky just off that one.
Yeah, I mean, Kelsey likes to pull the ball left side. She's definitely a left side dominant hitter in that regard. But It's an important at bat here in the scope of the game. So Carly Ellender followed by Nichols and Beale. Probably only going to get one more chance through the top of their line.
Lisa Yancic, the unlikely hero, maybe? No, she's had a pretty solid season so far, hasn't she?
She's a great player.
Two RBI.
Been around a long time.
2 RBI shot to extend Walkerville's lead within the change of innings. So Sturt will have the last turn at bat, but they're at 7 in their lineup. 7, 8, 9, all hitless. As Nucky goes down swinging, so back-to-back strikeouts for Peterson.
Becoming a pitcher's duel here, so...
Yeah, it started off as an offensive game with some brilliant defense on display, and now it's the two pitchers going head-to-head. Carly Allen up to bat. That one's in there for a called strike. 7-4 on Diamond 2 at the moment, with Sturt only playing their 4th game, but if Walkerville are currently in 2nd on 5 points. If they win this, they'll go 3 points clear of Sturt, Port and Hills all on 4.
Yep, and that's what you got to do early in the season, is you've got to bank wins, because as the players start arriving from around the world to fill, positions as pickups, and the Stars players come back from the States, these early rounds, they matter.
Allen goes opposite field, and good catch taken by Tate Nicholson out at right field for the 3rd out. So a very quick inning for Glenelg. It's a 1-2-3.
And you can see one of the new players at Glenelg seems to be leading Katie Prest, leading an interesting way that they come off the field with her standing high fives as everybody comes in. She sort of, don't know if she's getting down to everybody's level, but but yeah. So I'm going to take this opportunity now, James. I know you've been talking about Red Star Cafe and Bar 66. Big thank you to the clubs. Email went out this week, just talking to the clubs about it, and we've had some great responses from the Hills. We've had some great responses from Sturt and Seacombe. Seacombe this Saturday have their club day, and so they'll be running some cold rolls and some barbecue festivities. But Red Star Cafe and Bar 66 will still be open from 11 till 7. But obviously we won't be doing any of the things that Seacombe are going to be running. So that if you want to go and have a sausage sizzle, some of the baked goods they're going to have on show down there as well. So get down there, support the Seacombe Tigers. Or if you want to come in and see us inside, you've got a bunch of options to come down and watch some great softball on the weekend, and you can have choices, whatever you want. So thank you to everybody that's been involved, and that's sort of going to be our MO going forward. So
softball community coming together for the betterment of the game, and just trying to add value to that Adelaide Club competition. So come on down on a Saturday if you've got nothing to do.
100% volunteer at Red Stars.
I can tell you though, all the other associations around the state doing a great job. They rotate their club roster for their canteens. It's a good money spinner as well, helping out community sports. So get around all those clubs that are helping out. And we're back to the action. Steph Brzezinski pitching. Bree McGee is batting. The leadoff for Glenelg chops at that one. It goes foul.
So this will be interesting. So we're top 5 here. So Glenelg are actually starting at the top of their line. West Torrens are going to be coming in at 8-9-1. So 2 more batters before they get to Harris. So for her third at bat, which will be crucial as this game goes on.
But 6 consecutive strikeouts for Brzezinski. First of this inning.
Yeah, on fire, but this is where Glenelg have got to be tough here.
Caitlin Carroll has a hit. Grounded out to Brzezinski to end the second inning. It was a hard hit shot where she had to dive up the middle and reached out to second base.
especially after just the innings before where she's had to run over and fall down on her knees to catch a ball in foul territory.
Well, the Jill Williams Pavilion has paid for itself. Meredith Goodman saved as the ball is above her head. If she could just knock that off, she's to our left. If she can reach up maybe, and
yep.
There we go. Apologies for the delay there on the broadcast. Playing with a foul ball here. Very well covered there. You see Meredith in the back of the screen there just fetching that ball. Scorers to our left, Julie Priest and Meredith Goodman colouring in the circles tonight. It's 1-1 to Glenelg and West Torrens here in the top of the fifth. West Torrens already with a draw so far this season against Walkerville Cats, who are 1 out away from a big upset on Diamond 2. 7-4 still, 2 out. Well done this on the replay there. I was looking down at my scorecard. That's okay. Caitlin Carroll fouled it into her own foot, and she goes down looking for strikeout number 7 in a row for Brzezinski. Now, just of those 7 strikeouts, Anthony, 3 of them are looking. Here's Courtney Shepherd.
Yeah, you had 20 Ks to pace. That'll do that. But it
didn't take her long to get a groove on, did it?
I was about to say.
Defensively, she didn't skip a beat because she come up with a couple of sharp plays.
Well,
and now in the circle, 7 batters in a row.
You'd imagine she'll get one more at bat.
Shepherd gets a piece of this into the outfield and will get a single. Her first hit of the game. She has faced Brzezinski twice tonight. The only player to get bat on ball because the next batter, Katie Priest, had a walk. The next 7 in a row were all struck out. So Courtney Shepherd, if you want to know how good a season she's having, that's a good measure right there.
I was about to say she'd be knocking on Team of the Year status the way she's going. It's super impressive. Glenelg have not lost anything by gaining Caitlin Carroll as the speed-up runner at first. So they've got some genuine speed now as Prest, who's looked the part at the plate after that first amazing line drive shot to Jordan Harris at shortstop in her first at-bat. So it'll be interesting to see how the Americans deal with the change in pace going up. You would think that that would be more in their wheelhouse rather than having to wait for the ball to come to them. So these next 2 at-bats are going to be very interesting for the Rebels.
Ground ball to short. Tough bounce for Harris as she fires it across to Nucky, and she takes it for the 3rd out. So after 7 consecutive strikeouts, the bats come out for Glenelg. A single to Shepherd and a hard shot to shortstop. Here's the CMAX replay. See that bounce? It sort of broke to the right.
Yep. And yeah, she was throwing the ball on the up there, but from what I've seen of Katie Priest tonight, she very much looks like going to be an important part of this Glenelg lineup. She's again going to get better as she sees more of these pitches and gets more used to them.
All right, we're 70 minutes into this game, which means that the game on Diamond 2 should be over. And if we have a look down at the scorecard, we can see, thanks to Red Stars Cafe and Bar 66, come on down and grab yourself a toasted sandwich.
Yeah, we've got some other things in the works. We're finally going to have some pod coffee. It's been a fairly strong feedback point that instant is no longer acceptable in 2022.
No, I agree with that.
So
but thanks to the Red Star Cafe and Bar 66, we can tell you that the Walkerville Cats have got over the line against the Sturt Falcons 7-4. Michaela Yankovic pitched a beauty, and batter 7-8-9 went down 1-2-3 for the bottom half of that 6th inning for the win. So they'll comfortably sit in 2nd spot on 7 points.
Cats up and about. Well, there you go. That's why you don't listen to my predictions or any of those types of things, because I'm off the mark. There you go. Cats all over it.
Marnie Nichols is leading off the bottom of the 5th inning. It's her 2nd at bat in the Premier League for a decade.
Yeah.
Facing Peterson. She goes to the left side and she peels off a craft single.
Okay.
Turns first, has a look, and there is a legend of this sport.
Yeah.
Not even wearing her own uniform.
No. Yeah, no, look, as I said, it's always a pure joy to coach Marnie. She was low maintenance, good fun, great teammate for the players around her.
What do you think that conversation at first base was between McGee and Nichols? Was it?
I can't believe that you rang me
to come and play?
To come and play, because
-10 outside.
When yeah, I don't wonder who's looking after Jeter at home. Yeah, Mel and Marnie used to live a lot further away than they did now. Now they live a lot closer, so
it was close by.
They wouldn't have been able to pull that stunt before, but. Yeah, look, I've always said it about Mel and Marnie. They were always first to training, even though they were always going to be first pick because they're both guns. They worked all. There you go.
Well, that's going to do the job for Jackie Beale. It goes over the left-handed batter's box and into the back net. Nichols will stand up at 2. Here's a look at the CMAX replay. It went behind the helmet.
Yeah.
No one covering third, so there was a bit of hustle there to get back, and Courtney Shepherd was quick, smart to the back net to fish that one out. But here's Jackie Beale with a chance to
watch how far Marnie gets off.
Yeah, lead off.
They were always first to training for half an hour, and you know they had already basically run themselves into the ground. They'd do laps of the golf course and West Beach and that before everybody else rolled in, and so
base on balls for Jackie Beale. So lead off on with a single. The lefty Jackie Beale gets to first safely on a walk. Timeout called by Coach Brinkworth, and it is a pitching change, because otherwise it would have been Harris up to bat and their third time through the order, looking at Peterson after a triple to lead off and the bottom of the first inning, and then a walk to lead off the third.
Well, again, this is a weapon that Coach Brinkworth wouldn't have had to this point. You know, when things got hard previously, she hasn't had that opportunity. So it's, you know, it's what the grade A grade teams have, is that ability to go to a second pitcher to be able to change things up. So,
well, it's an important time of the game. It's tied. It's 1-1.
Yep.
Glenelg pulled off an amazing defensive play to deny West Torrens in the, what was it, the third inning with a double play. But don't forget, go back to the first inning when Harris led off with a triple. They were able to deny them with some tidy defense.
Yeah. As a coach,
and it's something different as well. That's
absolutely
something different to look at.
Look, I mean, I've always said it on the telecast. I was lucky enough to be taught by some great coaches. This situation, everybody knows that I'd be bunting, you know, the next batter up, 1-2 and none out. In this situation, though, I would actually be green lighting Jordan. I would be saying, listen, have a look at it, see what you can find, try and put yourself into play. Marnie Nichols is going to have exceptional speed and base smarts. Bill behind her as well. So I would actually just let this one play out rather than try and over-engineer anything here, especially since Marshank's already put the ball to the fence tonight. Well,
you'd also probably want to see a couple of pitches. First time facing a pitcher in your career as well. Yep. It's the first time seeing her. But the first one right down the pipe.
Yeah. Plus it's going to give some intel to the next hitters to follow as well. So.
Well, fouls this one off. So she stays aggressive.
That's okay.
Can't get it past Prest, although it was in foul territory. CMAX replay of a foul ball.
Yeah, you can see Nichols. She's 20 feet off already when that ball gets hit into play. So, as I said, you got a heads-up athletic base runner here. So,
change up, and it just short of Wheatley, who plays a good play, playing Beale at 2. 1-3 split though, so good change of pace there from McBurney, just to throw something different to Harris here as we have a look. She got a good piece of it, but that defense is standing up for.
Yeah, it's been super impressive. We know that the Eagles are prepared to burn a runner to score a run, so the interesting thing here with if they're going to put a delay steal on Geordie or if she's just going to run straight through. She's just running straight through. It's really interesting.
Yeah, second allow steal of the game. It's 1-1 here in the bottom of the 5th. Just getting the confirmation from KT, one of the... Oh,
wow.
Alicia Marchek, her second RBI shot of the game. It's going to bring in 2 as that allowed steal turns out to be costly for Glenelg. Harris crossing the plate, marching all three of the runs have come off the bat of Alicia Marchek tonight.
That's a great piece of batting. You know, she went inside first for the first shot. She went left centre. This time she's gone inside out, centre right. So different players for the Eagles just keep on stepping up. It's been Jordan Harris dominant throughout the year, but tonight Brzezinski's throwing a billion strikeouts in a couple of innings of work. Marchek at 2 scored all their runs earned off the bat. So, and yet I'd still say this is the best game of softball I've seen Glenelg play. You know, they look completely different. I definitely think, you know, maybe letting runners just peel off to second, maybe look at that. But I mean, obviously you've got new players in new positions, so.
Well, McBurney has shown a couple of tricks already. She's got some variation of pace, then a change up on top of that. She's not afraid to go in or out, and we've only seen three batters, so not bad for Glenelg. A handy backup for Peterson.
Yep.
She's handy with the stick as well, so exciting new player to the competition in her second game.
Yep, she'll be leading off the top of the 6th as
she
well.
She does, doesn't she? Yep.
She's got a bit of spin on the ball as well, so.
Now, just the change. Did Peterson go out to right field, or was she came out of the game, Jane Peterson?
Yeah. So that means Nicholson comes in to
bat for Peterson.
She's got wheels, so she can get herself on.
Well, surprise, surprise.
Hood's
it was
got a walk.
A base on balls for Amber Hood. Walk number 8 on the season.
Yeah.
Runners on first and second for West Torrens. So the threat's still there because here's Sophie Hoyle, one of the big guns of the team. And she's had 2 pop-up flies, which means she hasn't been far off. Just keeps her eye on the ball a little bit longer, and we could see one sail there.
Yeah, she does have that tendency to get underneath the ball in lifting it. But normally she hits the ball so hard by lifting it, it's normally such a big threat.
A couple of big performances from some West Torrens individuals. You mentioned Brzezinski, her defensive plays, and then her strikeouts. Harris, a hit, a walk, 2 runs. Some Marcheks, 3 RBIs and 2 hits.
Harris in the field too. She's been lights out and with a couple of difficult ground balls and a line drive shot. So, you know, they've done their part, the defense, and now the offense is coming to the party. So Glenelg not out of this. They've got to just hang tough here, get out of here without any more damage.
It has been an arm wrestle to this point in the game.
Good. It's been good.
About 10 minutes of regulation play, so an out here, or the 2 outs required actually to end this inning for Glenelg. Sophie Hoyle gets herself a walk, so a hit and 2 walks and a timeout called.
So it's a tough gig for Shepherd as well, because obviously, you know, she's been primarily working with Jade for the last 25 odd games and stuff like that. So, you know, now she's got to take on a new pitcher that she might not have had anywhere near the amount of work with. So, you know, she's obviously having to adjust to a new pitcher. I mean, a lot of the game plan you would imagine would stay the same. So Coach Brinkworth has just come out there. Game's on the line right now, so it's important that they settle. They understand the fact that, you know, they've now got bases loaded and they've got Brzezinski to the plate. And Brzezinski at this point is none for 2. She's had 2 strikeouts against Peterson tonight, but has swung the bat like it was the last time she was ever going to swing a bat. They've been massive cuts, but now she gets a look at a new pitcher. So this could go one way or the other, I would suggest.
watches that first one for a called strike. So McBurney has thrown a few first up strikes. Loaded bases in a 3-1 game. Brzezinski hammers it up the middle. Hood's got to turn 3 and score easily. Hoyle turns 2, stands up at 3. Brzezinski's going to get caught in a rundown. Hoyle looks for home and will score. Brzezinski is tagged out, so all 3 runs cross the plate after Brzezinski rips one up the middle.
I mean, yeah, look, I mean, obviously she could have stopped at first, but, you know, there was also the thing to keep attacking. And by what she did by attacking, as you can see there, Hood already scoring and Brzezinski caught in the rundown. What she allowed to happen there, it was she allowed Hoyle to come down the third baseline and take the advantage and score the extra run. So good work, Steph Brzezinski, all round.
Bases cleared for Nucky, who also gets a first up strike. Here's a look at the CMAX replay.
Yeah, so she basically sacrifices herself to score the extra run. So
how quickly did Hood come around?
Yeah. She is a jet.
Nucky aggressively fouls that one off and goes behind the count 0-2. And thanks to CMAX for that replay there. CMAX Clinical Research. You want to help advance tomorrow's healthcare and get paid for your time, log on to cmax.com.au. We see Hoyle across the plate there. That is the 6th run of the game, 5th of the inning for West Torrens. Change up.
Really good change up too.
And she pops up to shortstop to end the inning, and we have enough time to start one more as we'll go into the 6th. And it is a timing game call. Okay. All right, well,
okay,
that'll do it. That'll wrap it up here from...
That is a bit early, I would have thought, Blue.
We're just getting told from producer Brandon that we started early. So the umpires are just going to have a chat, and Glenelg are up and about. So I think we're going around again. So we are going into the 6th and will be the final inning of tonight's big clash between West Torrens and Glenelg. It was, as we just previously mentioned, an arm wrestle throughout the first 4 innings. 1-1 ball game with Glenelg striking first blood in the top of the 2nd. Sophie Kinnear scored off a Bree McGee single. There were 3 hits in that inning. Didn't take long for West Torrens to respond. It was the bottom of the 3rd. Jordan Harris led off with a walk, and Alicia Marchenk, after Jordan Harris stole 2nd, hit an RBI double that tied up the ball game. It was back and forth, to and fro, a pitcher's duel there for a while as Peterson notched up 4 strikeouts and Brzezinski 5 before the floodgates opened up there in the bottom of the 5th. Just then and there, leadoff single to ring in player Marnie Nichols, a walk to Beale, fielder's choice to Harris. Marchenk hit a 2-run single, walks to Hood and Hoyle, at a 2 RBI shot from Steph Brzezinski to round out a big 5-run 5th inning for West Torrens.
Yeah, and unfortunately the score doesn't actually reflect the quality of the game. It's actually been a lot closer than that. I mean, there was a pitching change that was made. It was made at the right time. You know, and obviously in hindsight, you know, it's gone against them. But the reality was, you know, you were going to expose your pitcher to the lineup for the 3rd time, and it was the time to strike. So sometimes that's just how it's going to be. But
McBurney leads things off with a big shot out to deep centre field, but there's Alicia Marchenk, who has been one of the CMAX clinical performers of the game. She takes a great catch off a really nice shot. Let's have a look at the CMAX replay.
Yeah, she got all of that. As I said before, last innings, it'd be interesting to see how the new Americans go against the pace, because that would probably be more what they're used to. But Marchenk, that's a great play. That's not an easy catch late here on a Thursday night.
Sophie Kinnear hoping to keep things going here for the Glenelg Rebels. You'd think if the umpires called time just about a minute or so ago, with West Torrens leading 6-1, you'd think that it will just be time and game after 3 outs.
Yeah, I can't imagine. No, I don't think the Eagles will take the field, but yeah, interesting.
Kinnear eagerly watching, but that one's a called strike at the top of the zone.
So what's your take on the CMAX player of the night, James? Because it's a game where genuinely there are 4 or 5 quality options.
Yeah, Alicia Marching, Jordan Harris, the top 2 batters of the Eagles order as Sophie Kinnear swings at that one. Now it's 2-2. Yeah, 2-2's the count. You know, Glenelg have had some pretty handy players, but the thing is that they have evenly contributed throughout the lineup. So you're probably going to turn the page and look at the winning team lineup. This player right here, Steph Brzezinski, defensively has been amazing. And then her last plate appearance, she's got 2 RBIs from a single, then sacrificed herself to allow a 3rd run to cross the plate.
Yeah, I mean, she's the player that's had the most influence on the result.
Kinnear drives one right side. Yeah, defensively though, a couple of sharp plays, a good catch in foul territory as well. It is a welcome back to Steph Brzezinski. It's great to see her back in the Premier League. You know, my bias won't allow me to say that Jordan Harris has been the best player of the game, although she probably has been. But
Well,
at least in Marching, definitely.
Yeah, that's the best game I've seen Marching play easily, batting-wise and fielding-wise. But as far, and you know, Harris, unfortunately, by her setting her own high standards, she makes it difficult because you just expect so much from her now. But her base running, her fielding, and again, that tone setting. Even Glenelg went in with a plan to try and combat her tonight, and they still couldn't, you know, she still found a way around it. So, but Brzezinski, as far as just, you know, getting off a plane, first week back, to throw what she's thrown, to field how she's fielded, and then at the end, even after 2 big strikeouts, to still probably put the game to bed offensively with those last 3 runs. It's can you split it in 2 or 3 parts?
Well, you probably get 3 different players get votes from the umpires.
So for the CMAX Player of the Year award, can we go 3, 2, 1?
But but for the CMAX Clinical Performance Player of the game, yeah, you're right. We've got to split it between Marching, Brzezinski and Harris tonight. They've all been terrific offensively and defensively.
And it was great to see Marnie Nichols back too. That was just awesome. That was
a little cameo from
a little
Marnie
cameo
and
a single down to left field, if you don't mind. So that was so good seeing her back. But look, I think the story of the night, Glenelg. I think Glenelg becoming the real deal. I think it's now time to, start looking into that a bit more seriously, because, you know, this is probably the first time this whole lineup all together. You know, it'll take a couple of games. It's just not going to gel instantly. But, you know, Glenelg have now got genuine, you know, weaponry. And what that'll do is it'll free up the likes of McGee and Wheatley to be able to, you know, they've had to feel like they're carrying things so much before. And Cochrane, you know, they've all had to sort of shoulder a massive load, and that puts big pressure on players. But now, as you said before, and a couple of times in the coverage tonight, James, that they've had contributions all down their line.
Wheatley grounds over to Hoyle at third, who's been pretty sharp, and they'll get a base runner because the ball bounced before Nucky. She tried to scoop it up, and unfortunately the play to end the game wasn't brilliant. It looked like it was going to be, but just too much speed there.
Yeah.
Wheatley to put a little bit more extra pressure on the defence, so Hoyle had to rush her throw and it bounces over.
Yeah.
Gemma Cochrane will get a look at Steph Brzezinski.
It was a great field by Hoyle, though.
Great pick up. It's been on show tonight, the defence from both teams. Glenelg have presented themselves tonight. Timeout's been called. What have you seen?
So Peterson's come back in.
Oh, she's on the on-deck circle. Okay, timeout.
So that means Nicholson's come out completely.
Okay, timeout's been called I think it was just between pitcher and catcher. Wheatley still on first, and Gemma Cochrane is the batter in the box.
I think Amber's just gone up to Steph and say, hey, listen, just remember what we've been doing over the last 20 minutes. Let's not get too pedantic around the outside of the zone. Let's challenge these hitters and get out of here, because we're 2 out.
Strike called. It's 1-1 count here, top of the 6th. It will be the last inning, regardless of any more runs scored.
And we know too that you probably were expecting a third person tonight. Lee, if you're at home watching, hope you're getting better, champ.
Special mention to our man, and we'll see him back, no doubt.
Oh, absolutely. Good watching by Cochrane. Steph just teasing her with the a rise. Cochrane good enough to stay off of it.
This Saturday, Seacombe will play West Torrens thanks to Spacequake Sports and CMAX. I think it's the last time we see West Torrens play on TV for a while, as Steph Brzezinski gets her
wasn't able to stop it
seventh
twice.
strikeout of the game, and she only came in the 3rd inning, so not bad for only 4 innings of work. And West Torrens will now be the winners of this game, 6-1. It was a tight tussle early on, and then West Torrens just took full advantage there in the bottom of the 5th, scoring 5 to break it open to win 6-1. I was just going through the games this weekend. Hills will play Sturt, Port Adelaide will play Walkerville, and it will be Seacombe's Club Day. So thanks to Dental for Schools, it'll be Seacombe's Club Day this Saturday, so 2 p.m. and our man Eric will be back as well. Are you on this this Saturday?
I'm not sure. I'll either be in the bar serving or I'll be.
What bar's
down.
that?
That's bar 66.
Bar 66. And if you want to help volunteer, you can go to
Red Star Cafe, bar66@gmail.com. We've got a Facebook page which is the same name, like it, and every Thursday it updates and tells you what we've got coming up on the weekend. We're open 11 till 7.
And something for everyone to get excited about is on Saturday the 12th of November is Breast Cancer Awareness Round. Always a great day. Dress in pink, the pink round they call it. Thanks to Bar 66 and Red Star Cafe, it was Walkerville 7-4 winners over Sturt. So we've got 2 clear leaders at the top of the table now. West Torrens on 11 points, Walkerville on 7.
Got some big games on Saturday. You've got Walkerville versus Port Adelaide at 6 p.m. That's going to be a big game now in the scheme of it. And Hills, if they fly Rixon back.
Well,
and then
winner of Hill Sturt, or the loser of Hill Sturt, will go out of the 4.
You wouldn't have said that about Sturt 4 weeks ago, but if Rixon's in town, that'll be interesting. So,
right. Well, Thursday night softball. No thanks to the weather, but the Diamonds still come up a treat, and we got a good game tonight to watch, and it was West Torrens winning over the Glenelg Rebels 6-1. I can see that Brandon's ready to go. The lights are going to go out soon. So that's it from us for tonight from West Beach and the CMAX Premier League. West Torrens winning 6-1. Good night.
Good night.